The question I asked is, we have an act of parliament in existence called the Electoral Act. Am I right? Now we are seeking to amend it to bring it in line with the aspirations of Nigerians. Of particular to me is the fact that I was cheated in 2019 elections. And we went to court, and the court annulled the election. And in annulling the election, the court said the mutilations were terrible, and that whoever was the returning officer was a danger to civility and must be prosecuted. So the court ordered the prosecution of the electoral officer. But instead of prosecuting the resident electoral commissioner, they rather prosecuted the returning officer, a professor from University of Calabar who had done 34 years in service. And he was sentenced to 3 years imprisonment. The same INEC resident electoral commissioner, working with some cohorts, changed the story and said the man was trying to assist Senator Godswill Akpabio. If the man was trying to assist Senator Godswill Akpabio, how come they burnt my votes in my local government? How come I was not announced as the winner? I kept quiet. So if we are amending the Electoral Act, the real offenders must be held responsible. Because at the level of a returning officer, the man can only announce what is collated from the collation centers. But a situation whereby the resident electoral commissioner sends security men to go and hijack the announcement to his office, which is against the Electoral Act. And then the court says the person who committed this offense should be prosecuted, and they prosecuted the wrong person. So we must also look at what INEC is doing. INEC should be held responsible for certain infractions in the Electoral Act. All the rumors and all the misconceptions and everything, I want to, anybody who has sense will ask the question. If the returning officer was trying to assist Senator Godswill Akpabio, how come the votes were hijacked to INEC headquarters, and INEC headquarters announced a different person, which was annulled in the court? So the person that went free ought to have been the person to be prosecuted. So if we are going to amend the Electoral Act, it must be all-encompassing. And also the timeline for elections and timeline for campaigns. You can't be campaigning for 8 months, and then you add another 3 months. You resign from your place of work 3 months before, then you go for 8 months campaign, and everything comes to 11 months. So a president who has a minister that has a political ambition cannot even have, because he has six weeks before he appoints, he has 2 months before, 60 days to send the list of ministers for clearance. So if you add that to the so-called 3 months before primaries and the 8 months of campaigns, it simply means that in a 4-year period, governance will suffer. Those who are supposed to serve the public will not even have the opportunity to do it up to 3 years in a 4-year tenure of any administration. Those are the things I want to hear. So if you are bringing amendment and we go into general principles, the general principle is we are going to amend the Electoral Act, we are going to do this. So I wanted to know whether there are certain nitty-gritties that will convince us here of the need to make it to pass second reading. So my opinion, Senator Lalong, you have not touched the nitty-gritty of the reason why you want us to pass this for second reading. Yes, you are supposed to talk about general principles. General principles will be okay. But what have you been able to tell us? I'm thinking that for us to proceed with this, that we will not stop it immediately.
Yes, sir.
But I think we should go into closed session so that you can let us know the areas that you have been able to point out. Let's not be taken by surprise when we go for public hearing. Let it be that the members are aware of the areas
Okay.
that you wish to. But if you want to argue with me, go ahead.
Okay. People are